I guarantee this simple bunker method will give you way more confidence out of the sand, redefine your golf game, and ultimately help you get good at golf. Hi everyone, my name is James Robinson. If you want to do just that, make sure you do consider hitting that subscribe button. So today we're in the sand and we're going to talk about a nice simple method to make sure you can play good quality bunker shots just like that one. If you struggle from sand, it can be a nightmare. It can kind of have a reverse chain method from your tee shots because you're thinking, I need to hit the fairway, because if I don't hit the fairway, I'm more likely to go in the bunker. But realistically, bunkers can be your friend. It could be one of the easiest golf shots you ever play because you don't even hit the golf ball. Now that might sound a little bit out there, but realistically you don't, because we're trying to take in a nice cushion of sand before the ball to make sure that ball comes out as you want it to. So the key thing we have to do here is have the right equipment. So you see here I've got a sand wedge. It has 8 degrees of bounce on there and 56 degrees of loft. What I need to do though is make sure that bounce comes into play massively, because if not, the leading edge comes into play, and that's where people really start to struggle. If I try to play a shot with a leading edge, you'll see instead of a nice brushed sand here, we get that kind of motion. Loads and loads of sand out of there, and the speed you would need to make sure that ball gets out would be very, very high and also very uncontrollable. The key for me is I want to be able to A, get the ball out, which we're going to talk about, but also get it to the right distance, because if you do both those things correctly, you're generally going to get up and down a lot more. Imagine how many bunkers you went in your last round of golf, and now imagine how many times you got up and down, or how many times you potentially even left it in the sand. So if we can get you getting it out first of all, then also making the putts, that will bring your scores down massively. Most people will go into a bunker during a round of golf. It's nothing that you have to be ashamed of, but you need to know how to play it. So the key is plenty of speed, as we've said. It's also opening the face up so you do get that tiny bit of bounce underneath the ball. Then from there, ball position is going to be vital. I want the ball forward in the stance here, and I want to make sure that I've lowered myself into the sand. A lot of people think doing this is to get a nice solid stance, but actually it's to lower yourself under the surface of the sand. So then it's easier to get that club working underneath the golf ball, so you can get that nice cushion between the ball and the club face. Now, if I do all those things correctly, I want to then make sure that as I take the club away, I keep the loft on that club face. I don't want to take it away really, really square, because then the loft comes off it, and guess what? That leading edge comes into play again, so you start to see people drive leading edge into the sand. So keep that loft on it. I like to feel like the loft almost points back at me here, so you'll see I start to cup my wrist just a little bit. From there, I release the club down into the sand, work down underneath the ball, and again that loft points at me after the shot. So the last thing I want to do is release the club over like I would an iron shot, because I'm taking loft off the club, and you guessed it, taking bounce off the club as well. So all those things correct, and I can start to play real nice bunker shots very consistently. And if you can do that, I guarantee you will lower your scores. You haven't spent $500 on a new driver, you haven't spent loads and loads of money on lessons, you're just hitting it a little bit closer from the sand.